Parents want their kids to do well. Of course, they want them to do well in school, they want them to do well in sports, they want them to do well in Fortnite.
Parents are hiring Fortnite coaches to improve play and help children level up. That's what the Wall Street Journal told the world this week. Reporter Sarah E. Needleman says that parents are putting down as much as $20 per hour for lessons. She spoke to one parent, Ali Hicks, who was worried about her 10-year-old son's time on Fortnite. But it wasn't the violence or the amount of time she was worried about, as you might expect. It was the result. He wasn't winning, so she hired him a coach, putting down about $50 for 4 hours of online lessons from a player she found through a freelance labour website. Here's what Ali Hicks told the Wall Street Journal, quote, "There's pressure not to just play it, but to be really good at it. You can imagine what that was like for him at school."
Fortnite is of course a global phenomenon and has been for months, thanks to the rapid rise of the game's free Battle Royale element. It's currently on course to make $2 billion and has had 125 million players as of June this year. And it's now on basically every platform: PC, Xbox One, PS4, iPhone and Nintendo Switch. The Wall Street Journal says that parents are paying for coaching so their kids can be Twitch stars like Ninja, Dr. Lupo or TSM Myth.
Who we've definitely
Yeah,
heard of.
all big fans of all three of them.
Yeah.
Another parent, Nick Menon, told the Wall Street Journal that his 12-year-old son, Noble, struggled to win on the highly competitive Fortnite landscape. And after some coaching, Menon says, quote, "Now he'll throw down 10 to 20 wins."
What a guy. Yeah.
This is ace, man. Right? Let me tell you a little story about myself.
Okay, go on, yeah.
Right.
I'll just scroll up and then
Yeah.
keep talking.
I'm a new parent, spend a lot of time making bottles for my daughter. You can't use boiling hot water, so you've got to let the water cool down.
Is this a long story?
It's a bit of a long story, but we've got editing, so that's okay.
Right.
And I've got a lot of time when I'm in the kitchen waiting for water to cool down. So I've got a Nintendo Switch, I downloaded Fortnite, not normally my thing, play it. Now I'm in my kitchen playing the game and I'm getting some kills in. And what makes that such a sweeter experience is knowing somewhere in the world I have killed a boy called Tarquin, who's about 12, whose mum has then gone, "We can't be having this," and has gone to a computer and gone on a freelance labour website and searched for help because of me. And that makes me feel good. That's my favourite thing about this story. I like it a lot.
Well, that's
Cheers.
that story
Thank you for
analysed.
having me. I'm gone.
That's that story covered. Let's move on to the next one. And in other slightly odd gaming news this week, the upcoming Spyro Reignited Trilogy will need to be mostly downloaded, even if you buy the disc version. Spyro Reignited is out on September the 21st for PS4 and Xbox One, but anyone who picks up the physical version of the game will only have Spyro 1 on the disc that they've bought. They'll have to download 2 and 3 as part of an automatic update when you put the disc in. Now, this was confirmed by the game's official website this week and the Spyro Twitter account, which cleared up there wouldn't be any code, just an automatic download. So once more, to be clear, if you buy the Spyro Reignited Trilogy on disc, only the original Spyro the Dragon will be playable on there until you do the content download for the rest of the trilogy.
Horrible way of dealing with it. There's only two ways I think that this could have happened. One is that the trilogy is too big to fit on one disc, so rather than print another, they've just made it digital.
Don't know about
One
that,
theory. Second theory is PlayStation 1 games that have been remastered. So you know what I mean. Second is that they have got a deadline, a strict deadline, because they are on Activision, who are pretty heavy on the publishing AAA front, and they've had the first game gold, and the second and third game maybe they're still tweaking, but they want to hit their deadline, so they've gone just ship it with the first game 33% of the content of the trilogy, and we'll give the other 66% later. Horrible though, because a lot of people, imagine kids playing this and they might not have PlayStation Plus, so they might not even have internet, they might not have the PlayStations on the internet, they just don't have the internet basically. It's just not a good way of thinking about it. I don't like this at all. I don't want people to get into the habit of shipping out games when a bit of the game's done.
Of the game's on there, and it's quite common practice. But the thing that makes this stand out is the fact that it's so much of the content that should be on there. For starters, like you said, 66%. But it's also 2 entire games that you get in trilogy. You have to completely download the next. It's pretty mad. And just a little PSA, I guess, if you're thinking of buying this game, maybe it doesn't bother you at all. Maybe you've got a perfectly fine internet connection and you'd play through the first Spyro anyway. But just so you know, you're going to have to download Spyro 2 and 3, even if you buy it on disc.
Also this week, Sony continued to lead the pack this console generation, and the company's recently announced financial results show just how well it's doing. The company revealed they had shipped 3.2 million PS4 consoles to retailers between April 1st and June 30th, pushing the overall number of shipped PS4s to 82.2 million units worldwide. Shipments of PS4s have decreased by 100,000 units year on year, but that's not hugely surprising given how long it's been on sale. Sony also reported significant increases in revenue year on year to 427 billion yen thanks to strong software sales through the PSN store. The company say 2018's God of War had, quote, significantly exceeded expectations. During an investor call, Sony Chief Financial Officer Hiroki Totoki said the company revised its software sales figures after God of War's strong retail performance, as well as greater than expected sales of unnamed third-party games. Totoki did reveal there had been a slight drop in PlayStation Plus subscribers during the last fiscal quarter, which he attributed to a lack of hit multiplayer games and not the price hike, which did happen.
Yeah.
And people still remember.
It's 10 quid more expensive now, so maybe...
Yeah, like 25% more
maybe
it works
that.
out.
Yeah.
Come on.
In other sales news, Nintendo revealed its own figures this week, and we learned that the Switch is plodding along quite happily. The Nintendo Switch has sold 1.88 million units during the first quarter of the year, bringing overall sales to 19.67 million units. When stacked against the competition, the Switch is doing remarkably well, and the website Go Nintendo pointed out that after 16 months, the PS4 had sold 20.2 million units worldwide, whereas the Switch has managed to sell its 19.67 million units in just 15 months. Nintendo Labo was a surprise success for the company as well, selling around 1.39 million units. As for games, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was the best-selling first-party game during the first quarter, shipping 1.4 million units, followed by Mario Tennis Aces with 1.38 million units, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which shipped 1.13 million. A lot of numbers there for you, a lot of figures, a lot of data, but basically Sony's doing well. There's less PlayStation Plus subscribers. Nintendo Switch is doing almost as well as the PlayStation 4, if not slightly better, because it's 1 month behind in terms of how long it's been on sale, but it's almost reached it in terms of being on the same level of sales, which is amazing. So there you go.
UK-based developer Playground Games has hired a bunch of people to work on its currently unannounced action RPG, which is rumoured to be a new Fable game. Earlier this year, sources told Eurogamer Microsoft was planning a brand new big-budget Fable game, and they had entrusted development to Playground Games. Last year, Playground announced it was opening a second 200-person development studio to work on an open-world action RPG, and they had recruited some serious talent. When a second studio opened, Playground hired developers who had worked on some acclaimed games like GTA 5, Metal Gear Solid, and Hellblade, but now the company has gone on another hiring spree, adding even more developers to the studio. This new round of hires includes developers from other acclaimed studios such as BioWare, Rocksteady Games, Ninja Theory, Guerrilla Games, and EA Motive. Eurogamer's sources told them development is still early days, and Playground are still building the development team from scratch. This is huge news for the UK games industry, because like 200 dev jobs out of nowhere, and it's pretty central location as well, so it's massive for that. About the whole Fable thing, if you don't know,
please.
Fable was made by Lionhead Studios, who all got the can basically.
Lionhead Studios is gone.
But Microsoft retained the rights, so now they're building another team to maybe bring it back to life. That's what the big rumors are saying. No official confirmation.
Exactly. No one said it is Fable, but it sounds an awful lot like it could be Fable, and it makes total sense because Microsoft does like to lean on its franchises. It likes to make things either Halo or Gears of War or whatever. So it makes sense that they'd want to go back to that, and I would want them to as well. Please do that for me. Do a Fable 4 for me, please. And finally this week, after the triumphant return of No Man's Sky, fans have been celebrating the game's newfound success with an in-game monument to creator Sean Murray. After the next update launched last week, over 97,000 players were logged into No Man's Sky on PC at one point to check out the new features. Response to the update was mostly positive, and No Man's Sky managed to become the 5th most played game on Steam, with the reviews going from mostly negative to a mixed rating on the platform. One player going by the name of Roland Oberheim decided to build a monument to Sean Murray on a planet's surface using the game's base building and crafting mechanics. It is a giant picture of Sean Murray's face that you can see from space. Oberheim's work even caught the attention of Big Man Murray himself, who tweeted, quote, "The only way this could have been better is if I had come across it by accident while playing the game." Imagine that though. Imagine you're just flying towards a planet and your face is just on it.
What do you do? Like, how do you
Land
react to that?
and investigate
Yeah.
and see what happened.
Sean Murray's quite a polarising figure. I've heard a lot of bad things said about him. I've never heard someone say, I'm going to build a giant, space monument to him. That's a little bit different. Not everyone's happy with that. But wow, what a...
Well, I mean,
achievement.
I think what it is an exercise in, they're saying one of the big new things in Next is that it's got unlimited base building. What better way to test that than by making an enormous Sean Murray face?
I don't know the
Makes
answer.
perfect sense to me.
So whether it's rich parents trying to get their kids to get good at Fortnite, games only being shipped, a third completed, giant space monuments to infamous game developers, RPGs coming back, or loads of financial information, we've got you covered this week. Why don't you let us know what you think of any of the topics we've just mentioned in the comments below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new around here. There's some more content just here on the screen, I think it's this way. Patreon also if you want to support the channel. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.